Welcome to the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter Day Pass Masterclass. I'm your host, Sally Thibault. Over the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the program. In particular, we'll share with you the 10 principles of wellness, and I'll take 4 of those and explain a little bit more about them. And then I'm going to share with you a little bit about the program at the end to see if it's a right fit for you. So buckle in. Let me sure I'm recording it. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to disappear for a minute and let's get started. Let me just go up to the slideshow. Did it. Never quite know with this one. All right. Hi. As I mentioned, this program, the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter program, is based on what I call the 10 principles of wellness. Now, I've been involved in health and fitness for a very long time. And I've seen all sorts of things come and go in that time. And so much of it is just not true or just not steeped in reality. And as we age, anything we do now has to have very good benefits for us and our bodies as we change. The Stronger, Leaner, Lighter 10 principles of wellness are all based either on evidence and science or experience and wisdom, every single one. And I've combined them all together to create a program that supports you for life. This is not something you do, you come on and come off. The Stronger, Leaner, Lighter program is designed for you to do for the rest of your life. Once you get this, once these principles become so much a part of your life, you never go back. You never go back. It just is so much a part of your life that you will always use them. So let me explain the first 10, and then we're going to do the first 4. And you would have got details about principle number 1 today in the link that was sent to you. So I'm going to briefly touch on that, and we're going to talk about the top 4 before, and then I'll touch briefly on the others. So 1, eat consciously. You got all the information about that today. And the reason that I moved from teaching intuitive eating to eating consciously, where intuitive eating becomes a part of it, and more an overarching umbrella, the eating consciously part. Principle number 2 is fast intermittently. Principle number 3, exercise mindfully. Principle number 4, sleep soundly. Those first 4 I will cover more in a bit. Principle number 5, drink water frequently. Most women, in my experience, do not drink enough water. Most do not. And so when we don't drink enough water, 2 things happen. We're dehydrated, we feel tired, and we tend to eat more. So just by boosting your water intake all seasons, not just in the summer, but right throughout the year, you'll notice a huge difference in your inflammation and your skin, really. Number 6 is meditate daily. We do a lot of meditation in this program. Anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes a day is really essential to help calm the central nervous system and help you release stress, which again will help you release visceral belly fat. Visceral belly fat you cannot release just by diet and exercise. It's more to it than that. Number 7 is to tap regularly. And this is a major part of this program. Will teach you how to use tapping to release the emotional connection to a past story or a trigger. And when that happens, your body adapts. You'll learn how to eat intuitively and stop eating emotionally. Number 8 is to live purposefully. Now, there's lots of studies being done on living purposefully, in particular, either to have a purpose or to live your purpose. Both work together. Studies have shown that people are more likely to make better health choices when they're living on purpose, doing something purposefully, or living with their purpose. Number 9, forgive easily. Very, very important part of this program. We look at all the ways of people, words, and events of the past that have led you to where you are now and the choices and decisions that you make. And when we're hanging on to any of that anger, that stress, that resentment, that will impact on your body and will impact in particular on retaining visceral belly fat. It has to be a major part of the program. And of course, number 10 is to seek joy, celebrate often. We do this every week because when you seek joy and celebrate often, studies show that your happiness quotient lifts. When your happiness quotient lifts, the brain gets a little hit of serotonin, a little hit of dopamine, makes you feel good, fall back in love with yourself and in love with life. You're more likely to make better choices. So we do that a lot in the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter program. let's go over these, quickly go over these first 4 principles. Eat consciously. And in the videos, I shared with you that intentional, intuitive, informed, introspective, and implementation. I want to just quickly talk about the intuitive part. I talked about that or taught that for over 30 years. And in 2020, all that changed when all of a sudden our world was turned upside down. I remember coming home for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And that became very difficult to people to eat intuitively because that low-grade stress and anxiety constantly dictated your body was needing foods for many people, serotonin-inducing foods to calm the stress. What are serotonin-inducing foods? Bread, cakes, pastries, and often like a kind of creamy foods. And because it was difficult then to trust your intuition, because your intuition was to tell you to eat those types of food. But when you understood why that's where we talk about the introspective part, what that was triggering in you, why that stress is triggered in you, then everything changes. So eating intuitively is part of the overarching umbrella of eating consciously, which, as I mentioned, had to change after 2020 for those various reasons. Principle number 2 is fast intermittently. We spent quite a bit of time on this. And this is it's adapting fasting to you. There's lots of different ways to do it, but we get to understand you, why it works for you, which one is for you. And that's exceptionally important because there's no broad brush here. No broad brush. This is all about you and what works for you and what doesn't. But the reason I implemented fasting intermittently, I didn't like it at the beginning because I thought it was just another diet to me. The more studies, the more research that's coming out about it. I've been now practicing this for about 5 years and can tell you I'd never, ever go back to any other way. It just is extraordinary. So we look at why it creates autophagy. What's autophagy? Look, simply terms, it gives your cells a chance to detox. Really, that's what autophagy does. Did you know that when we're constantly eating, our body doesn't have a chance to just kind of process foods properly? We're constantly filling it up with foods. Remember the old 3 meals a day and 2 snacks? Well, that just blew it out of the window because people are getting so tired. I mean, if it worked, we'd all be thin and fit, right? But we're not. We're still battling. And that was what we taught in the 70s and 80s. It had to change. It reduces inflammation. Very, very important part and aspect of this program is we're constantly looking at foods that create inflammation. You will not lose that visceral belly fat until you look at the foods that cause you inflammation. And that's not the same for everybody. Not everybody's the same. But what about you? And that's part of that informed eating. We also look at that. What are the foods that are causing inflammation for you? And then do I make a choice on it? But fasting intermittently is a way to help. If you've had a weekend of, perhaps eating foods you wouldn't normally and maybe drinking a little bit more wine than you normally would, to set the next week to fast intermittently helps reduce that inflammation, helps the body to detox itself. It increases energy. Do you know the number 1 energy requirement for the body is actually digestion? So when you have a break from that, we like to call it having a break from eating, just to give your body a break, it increases, you will have more energy because your body's not constantly digesting. Reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes, really interesting, and may benefit brain function. I think this is a really important aspect of fasting intermittently. The studies are showing it can increase brain function. And as we age, of course, that's one of the things right now. You probably, as many of us are, surrounded by Alzheimer's and dementia. So anything that we can help to stave off that, I think, is really important. So fasting intermittently forms a major part of this program. But for you, it has to be right for you. It has to work. And we work together to ensure that the fasting works for you and is not impacting on your hormones. Principle number 3, my favorite. Now, you've probably seen if you follow me on Instagram, I just love my exercise, but I also love my time. There were years when I would get up every morning and I'd be at the gym for that 5 o'clock class and I'd be home at 5 till 6 and I'd be home at 6:30. I have to rush to get to work. And one day, it was actually the 9-minute workout that you got today came about when I fell and broke my foot last year. This time last year it was actually just before Valentine's Day, if I remember, because we went to a Valentine's thing with a foot in a boot. And when that happened, I used to go to the beach every day. I would do a HIIT, walk, run back, do some weights. And when I got home, I still did 45 minutes. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't do anything for 6 weeks. And when I began researching, okay, how can I keep fit? How can I keep my strength up? I began to look at a whole range of reasons. Why are we exercising so much? Why are we spending so much time when we can actually do this in a shorter period of time? That's where the 9-minute workout came from. And that's all I've done for a year. 9-minute workout, and we go for a walk every afternoon, but that's for another reason. That's for developing, creating more melatonin in our body, but we cover that in the sleeping part of it. But that's where the exercising mindfully, because it's 9 minutes. So to build strength, especially important as we get older, we need that strength. As we age, we begin to lose muscle matches as we lose estrogen. And so we need to continually be working on things that build our strength, especially upper body strength. Form, as I mentioned in the video, exceptionally important that you're doing it correctly. I'd much rather you do 5 repetitions of one exercise correctly than 10 incorrectly. It's quality, not quantity, that we focus on. Posture, exceptionally important. As we age, we get that stoop. And so much of us many of us are sitting on a computer. We need to pull back, focus on our posture. When you do that, you're developing or building that strength in your abdominals, because your posture actually comes from your abdominals, not from your back. And what your mother used to say. Flexibility, incredibly important as we age, that we're working on flexibility all the time, that every workout, every time you walk, that you are flexing or stretching your body, because that will help reduce the risk of injury. And I can tell you, when I broke my foot, that was something I had to really work out. When my foot came out of the boot, I really noticed lack of strength in that foot. I really noticed lack of stability and flexibility, and something I had to work on to regain that balance, so that didn't become chronic. But what's really interesting, I think, is that exercising mindfully or exercising regularly, studies have shown, reduces the risk of virus severity. Isn't that interesting? That a study was shown to dramatically decrease the risk of virus severity with regular exercise. Something that we've all got to be aware, the virus is here to stay. We need to figure out ways that we are adaptable and stronger for it. If you're not exercising every day, you may be more susceptible than you know. Principle number 4, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. We spend a lot of time on this in the program, and understanding your sleep cycles. We work in cycles of sleep, not hours of sleep. We work with your sleep chronotype, what type of person you are, how you sleep. And quite simply, you will never release visceral belly fat while you don't get your sleep in order. It just won't happen. It is so critical. It regulates your hunger hormones. So if you're not getting good cycles of sleep, I'm going to talk not hours, cycles. We have a 90-minute cycle. You need about 5 or 6 of those 90-minute cycles to get a good enough sleep, because it regulates your hunger hormones. Ghrelin is the hormone that lets you know you're hungry. Leptin is a hormone that lets you know you're full. When you don't get enough sleep, those reverse. Ghrelin actually increases, making you feel hungrier, and leptin decreases, means you don't know when you're full. The other thing about it is that when you don't get enough sleep, your body requires serotonin boosting foods. So you'll tend to go for more simple carbohydrates, cakes, breads, pastries, that type of thing, to give you the boost. So you're looking for the boost. And so that's where the body goes. So sleep is so critical in this. Boosts your metabolism. Studies have shown that it will boost your metabolism by getting good enough sleep. Reduces inflammation, critically important. Now, the last 2, again, increases executive function brain and promotes brain health. That while you sleep, while you get good night's sleep, the cells in your brain are actually detoxing. When you don't get enough sleep, those toxins stay in the brain. You've got to ask yourself the question why there is so much Alzheimer's, there's so much dementia right now. And there's quite a few studies that show that sleep and nutrition, but sleep in particular has played a major part in this. So we must focus on your sleep, and we focus that throughout the program. I want to just share this 5 stages of change that it came about when I started to think about why people get to a certain point when they want to create change in their lives. They get to a certain point. And here's why. When you first start a new program, a new exercise program, new way of eating, a new job, anything, it's hard, right? We work with a computer program called WordPress. And when you first start working with WordPress, everyone tells you it's easy. But when you first start, man, it's hard. Like it can just be tearing your hair out because you just can't get it going from one thing to the other. It doesn't seem to work. It's hard and it's intense. It's like when you decide to start an exercise program, that first week is hard. Second week is hard too, because you're just relying on brain space, adrenaline, and focus. That's all you're relying on. And it's the heavy, intentional energies to get you to understand. Then you get through that part and you go through the bumpy part. It's like, I'm going to use the analogy of the WordPress program. Okay, I got it. And then for a while you kind of, I just had that. What did I just do? I just had it a minute ago. That's this bumpy part. It's like, and in an exercise program, we used to see this about week 3 for our clients in a gym. They get to the end of week 3 and go, God, this is hard. I mean, everything hurts. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. My arms hurt. I'm seeing no results. It's just bumpy. It feels chaotic. We knew then in the gym, if we could get people through that heavy, bumpy part into the messy part, we had to work really hard with them week 4, 5, and 6, because this is where it felt disjointed. They were sort of starting to feel better, but it was still that habit hadn't started yet. Same with the WordPress. It gets messy. It's like, I had it a minute ago. What did I just do? Now when I pressed on that one, then that happened. It just feels messy, right? And it's like, I want to give up. But if that happens, as I said, in an exercise program about week 6, it's messy. It doesn't feel right. You haven't quite seen the results yet of your hard work. Then from week 6 to around about week 8, maybe week 9, let's say, to 10 of any program, it feels untethered. It's like, I am feeling so much better than I felt ever before, but I'm really worried I'm not going to stick with this, because those old habits, they may come back. This is where we really hold your hand through this program. And it's like, okay, we have an accountability Facebook group, and I'm in that group. Okay, where are you? I want to know where you're at. I want to know what's happening. Let's go back to basics, what's happening. And any bumps in the road, we're smoothing out real quickly. And finally, because where we get you to, this is week maybe 11 and 12, and the penny drops. I've seen it so many times, the penny drops. And it's like, I get it. This is so easy. How did I not seen this before? How did I not know that my emotions and the stories I was telling myself are impacting on the foods I eat? How did I not know that all this time I've been sabotaging myself? I don't need to sabotage myself anymore. I'm loving this intermittent fasting. I'm loving this 9-minute workout. I know I can do this for the rest of my life. And that's where we get you to in 12 weeks. That's what we're aiming for. But we've got to get you through these, the heavy, bumpy, messy part, to get you to the next. That's where it's so important and so critical in that first 6 weeks that you make a commitment to yourself that you're going to do this. Make a commitment to yourself. And how many times, I want you to think for a minute, how many times in the past have you gotten into this messy part and you've given up because it's too hard? We've all done it. Just all start off with great intentions, and we get to about week 6 and go, it's too hard. Can't do this anymore. But it's just that gap, right? Just get you over that next 2 to 3 weeks, man. Then it's it. And that's why I love about this program, because it's not a program that you come on and come off. Once you get to this lighter stage, you won't feel like it. You won't think about it. You'll just be it. That's the beautiful thing about it. That's the absolutely beautiful thing about it. So I want to share a little bit about the program, see if it's something that you're interested in, what we offer, and then a little bit of an offer at the end. So it's a 12-week program, the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter program. We have, as you receive today, all those videos. We don't get that amount of videos every week. We just wanted to give you a lot of them this time, so you saw a lot to choose from. Also, you get a weekly workout video, and they vary. So you get a 9-minute workout, you might get a 12-minute workout. You might just get a quick 4 or 5-minute workout that works on a specific body part that you might want to focus on that week. You might want to add it on, link it on. Everything's designed so It has you in mind and what you can do. You have access to all this information. You've got a huge library of tapping videos. We tap every week. We do a new tapping video every week, plus we add extra ones. Plus, you get a monthly individual call with me. So at week 4, week 8, and week 12, you have a 15-minute call with me that we can tap on specific things that are related to you. Now, what's extraordinary about that monthly individual call, and the reason I love it, I used to do group calls, and what I realized people weren't getting that. I felt they weren't getting that real cellular change that I'm looking for in people that join the program. I want them to have that pure cellular aha moment. And so I dropped the call, the monthly calls, because there were groups, big groups. And now I do these individual 15-minute calls. I'm going to tell you the change in that 15 minutes is extraordinary. So you could, for 4 weeks, you've kind of been working on it, getting an idea of it. And then we look at, okay, what's one block? Let's clear that. Okay, on to the next 4 week. What's that block? What's that block? And we're continually doing it. And that we do also a private Facebook group. So daily accountability in that private Facebook group. Plus a number of bonuses. You get the Mastering EFT course, which is teaching you how to do EFT effectively. This is part of a program I used to teach healthcare professionals how to do EFT. So you will actually learn exactly what they're learning. Plus, included in that is a 3-part video series on tapping on food cravings that you have. So if you've got a real craving for chocolate one day, there's a video in there for you to tap on that, how to do that, because it's a little bit different from ordinary tapping, how to do that. And the whole idea is to release the emotional connection to the craving. Doesn't mean you're not going to stop eating chocolate. It just means you're not going to eat the whole block. You're going to be happy with 2 pieces, because you're going to release the emotional attachment, and then your body is going to be helping you to understand and just enjoy the chocolate. We do that a lot, right? You learned that in the one today on conscious eating, that pace and pleasure are a really important part of enjoying this program. It's not getting rid of any food group in particular. You also get an ebook, Tapping to Reclaim You, which has 30 tapping scripts in it. My ebook on the 2 and 20 principle, which is a series of how to incorporate habits easily and simply into your life. And I just use the 2 and 20. So the habits are 20 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 hourly, twice a day, twice a week. Habits that help you kind of, implement change easily. That's on a whole range of things, whether that's procrastination, whether it's when you want to achieve more in your business, whether you want to declutter your house. Using the 2 and 20 principle helps you get over those great big hurdles. And finally, we've done an ebook on intermittent fasting, help you adapt it to you. So that is the masterclass. I'm just going to stop the share, and I'm going to pop up the link. If you want to have a chat with me about it, you want to have a chat with me about the program, see if it's right for you. What's important in this program is that it's right for you. It's got to be right for you. If it doesn't work for you, then there's no point. And I'm very upfront with that. And I listen to what you have to say, what you've been through, what you've experienced, what your situation is right now. And I think that's really important for any program that you're going to undertake anyway, that it's really relatable to you, your experience. If this works for you, if you're not ready for this, if I will say, I don't think this is the right program for you. If it's not, your goals are different from what the program is. So there's the link. I'll pop it in the comments below. I've opened up my diary for this week. So let's have a chat, 15-minute chat, no obligation, find out more about it. And I'd love to help you to feel stronger, leaner, lighter in 2022. What difference would it make in your life if, after 12 weeks, this all became so easy, so easy. So click on the link, let's have a chat. And I'd love to invite you to join the Stronger, Leaner, Lighter program.